flaring and venting of natural gas adds to climate change. It emits some 390 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. The amount of gas burnt is about 1/3 of the European Union's annual gas consumption. Billions of dollars are simply going up in smoke. For decades, national and private oil companies have been burning the gas associated with oil production. Natural gas is released when oil is produced, but is less profitable, especially in countries that lack sufficient regulation, infrastructure and markets.
Gas flaring is a very serious problem today. We estimate that 150 billion cubic meters of gas are flared.
Rashad Kaldani has recently been leading efforts by the public-private Global Gas Flaring Reduction Partnership launched by the World Bank in 2002. It helps countries and companies overcome barriers to cut flaring.
It's equivalent to 390 million tons of CO2 emissions. This is more than the amount that's being covered under the Kyoto mechanisms right now.
Eliminating gas flaring worldwide would reduce more CO2 emissions than all the projects currently registered under the Kyoto Protocol's Clean Development Mechanism, the landmark agreement between nations to reduce emissions by 2012. Total elimination's impossible. Some flaring is required for safety, but some countries flare more gas than necessary. These flares are so big, they can be studied from space.
Over this 15-year time period from 1992 to 2006, there's been very little reduction so far in gas flaring, despite the fact that global oil production on an annual basis has gone up. So that's an indication that efforts to reduce gas flaring are producing some results.
According to figures released by the Russian government, it's the second largest gas flarer after Nigeria. Russia acknowledges that flaring is underreported. Satellite images reveal the scale of the problem.
This is the largest collection of gas flares in the world. This is in Siberia, and you can see there's not only a very large number of individual flares, but some of them are very large in size because it's basically a waste disposal process, and it's in remote locations. Oftentimes it's offshore. There's not a lot of incentive for reporting.
The official figures is 15 billion cubic meters of associated gas are burning by oil and gas companies in Russia, mostly in the region of Western Siberia. You see on the map a lot of oil and gas fields that are burning different amounts from field to field of associated gas. If we process this gas into electricity, it will be equal of power that today 9 nuclear power stations in Russia are generating.
Gas and oil production tends to be in remote and unpopulated locations, meaning there is little need to generate electricity in the local area. But the associated gas can be used in other ways.
From those gas that we are burning now in Russia, we can receive about 9 million tons of diesel.
Turned into diesel, associated gas could fill the tanks of 175 million cars. They would still pollute, but carbon emissions would be cut. And at current Russian prices, this could generate $3 billion a year. As Russia's economy opens up, it creates opportunities for young entrepreneurs to use associated gas rather than wasting it.
That process gives oil companies the opportunity to reduce burning of gas, of associated gas, and to process it into methanol, for example, and to sell methanol as a separate product, with a profit, of course.
Kirill Liatz has already started doing this.
So today we are here This is Moscow. The plant is right here. It's about 3,500 kilometers from Moscow.
In northwest Siberia, on the 66th parallel, Kirill has built his first methanol plant.
It's about minus 36 degrees centigrade. We're on the shore of Tazovskaya Bay. It's a field named Yurkharovskaya, belongs to Yurkharov-Neftegaz, daughter company of Novatek, a gas producer company. Behind us, the methanol plant that are producing methanol from gas.
Novatek uses this methanol plant as part of the exploration process on its gas field. But the technology can easily be applied in oil fields, turning the waste gas into a saleable commodity.
Novatek is not an oil exploration company, but because our fields are multi-layered, whenever we find oil underneath the gas, according to the terms of our license agreement with the government, we are obliged to also extract the oil.
Besides gas fields, Novatek has a few oil fields and is burning about 300 million cubic meters of associated gas. It's a big amount. If they decide to process their associated gas, they could receive more than $90 million annually. I suppose it's good profit. Today, the associated gas is garbage.
The Arctic Circle. It may seem remote and empty, but in far Siberia's deepest soil, the machine of Russia's huge oil industry continues to burn this gas away. Now, change is on the horizon.
I am a member of the expert council in the utilization of associated gas for the Russian Gas Society. Today, the Society is preparing special legislation which the Russian State Parliament will introduce as law from January 2010 to outlaw gas flaring. If utilization of associated gas is less than 95%, the companies will incur big fines, or work may even be stopped.
I believe that Russian government, Russian parliament, special authorities are responsible for this problem, know this problem, and they try to push oil companies in this gas processing question. But they have to find the best way with minimum expenditures and maximum profit. It's a question of all commercial companies to avoid losing money.
Russia has yet to join the consortium of oil-producing governments and international oil companies led by the Global Gas Flaring Reduction Partnership.
This is now the time to step up this effort, bring in other countries such as Russia, Brazil, Venezuela, to make sure that we capture all of worldwide flaring. We have shown that this is a viable activity. It is relevant, there's tremendous impact on global climate, and that we can make a difference.